Hi guys, so today I'm bringing you guys a video on breastfeeding. I'm kind of going to go through a couple little tips and tricks. I'm going to tell you my experience with it and we'll go from there. So I breastfed Joy for 6 months. I only stopped because the pediatrician in Pennsylvania had told me that my breastfeeding Joy wasn't helping him any. He wasn't gaining weight properly, which I kind of feel that the pediatrician didn't fully understand the concept of breastfeeding. Breastfeeding babies or breastfed babies don't gain weight in increments like formula-fed babies do. Formula-fed babies gain weight excessively, where breastfed babies don't. They gain it minimal weight, which is perfectly normal. Joey was fine. He was thriving in every category. And I realized after I put Joey on formula, he'd gained so much weight. He became like this really chubby baby, and all his advancements in development had slowed down to the point where there's times where he was developing later, and I was like, this wasn't Joey 6 months ago, or even 2 months ago, after I gave him it. So I really do wish I would have just kept breastfeeding like I wanted to, but at first, my experience with breastfeeding wasn't so good. For the first 2 weeks, I could not get Joey to latch for anything. And in the hospital, we thought we had him latched, but to find out that when the nurses tried to help me latch him, they were more or less aggravated that I couldn't do it by myself. Sorry, I'm a first-time mom. My fiance's mom had not breastfed, so didn't know exactly, the positioning or, a good technique to get him to latch. And it kind of discouraged me a little bit because she was like, well, you should just formula feed then. And that's not what I wanted to do. I was dead set and keen on breastfeeding. It was crazy. So for them getting mad at me, it just made it harder and tougher, and to the point where I got discouraged really bad, to the point where I was like, okay, maybe maybe I'm not supposed to breastfeed. Maybe maybe I'm just a terrible mom because I can't do it on my own like these nurses think I should be able to. So for the first 2 weeks, I was pumping milk for Joey and supplementing when I didn't have enough with formula, and it hurt so bad to know that I gave Joey formula. It wasn't what I wanted. And 2 weeks in, between a family friend and a consultant, I had got Joey to latch perfectly, where he was nursing all the time. He loved nursing, and I loved breastfeeding him. It was just amazing. And after that, from that 2 weeks of not breastfeeding him on the breast, I constantly breastfed him. I still pumped so that I could, if I wanted to go out and spend time with friends, I could, but he was always with me. He was always attached at the hip. So yeah, my start for it was very rocky. After 2 weeks to 6 months, it was great. I was breastfeeding him everywhere. I breastfeed in public. I breastfed, while out to eat. I breastfed everywhere. Now, I'm not one of those moms that just, here's my boob, everyone, come look at it. No, there was times where I didn't care if, I showed my stomach while I was breastfeeding, but I was very discreet. I'd have a cover over me, or, I'd go to the bathroom and I breastfeed him. But I wasn't one of those moms, so it was just breastfeeding everywhere is cool, even though I do feel breastfeeding should be, allowed places, but certain places you should be discreet. So that's that. So a tip for breastfeeding: definitely don't get discouraged. I would recommend you have a family friend, a consultant from WIC or the La Leche group come out and help you with your first latch and the first couple latches until you know what it feels like, and you know how they should be positioned and stuff, because it definitely helps. Until you have that first latch and good latch established, I would have formula on hand just in case, because if I didn't have it, I definitely, Joey would have gone hungry. I would have gone out and bought it for him, but it was just it's not what I wanted, so I never planned for it in case. Another tip: always have a cover with you. Definitely a blanket, or they even have breastfeeding covers. I saw some really cute ones after I stopped breastfeeding Joey, which was a shame. And don't be discouraged to do it out in public. I mean, that was my biggest fear up until, I think it was like right before we moved in August. I actually had no, maybe it was July, but it was like a couple months before we moved, and like I got stuck out at the social service building trying to get Joey's social security card, and I didn't bring an extra bottle. I brought only one thing, and I'd only be there for a couple hours, and I actually had to breastfeed Joey in the social service building, and it was just, not that it was terrifying, but it's like they didn't have a clean bathroom for me to breastfeed, and I wasn't going to breastfeed Joey in like this dirty facility. So don't be discouraged to do it out in public. Just, you know, if you can, find yourself a little nook to breastfeed. And there are my only tips. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say breastfeeding's best, because it's not. I mean, it is, but it's not. But every woman chooses for themselves what's right for their child. So I hope this has helped you a little bit, and if you have any questions or concerns, you can always, you know, send me a message or leave me a comment. I'll personally get back to you. Have a nice day.